Okay, how's everybody doing? Second try at this. I once again was recording this and I realized I had all the cars out of frame when I was talking about the cars and showing them off. Because I'm still not used to having the camera up here after how many videos? So yeah, Warden fleet and a few guest cars are done. So I figured we'd just start and work our way through them, and this time see if I can keep them all in the frame. And that would be great, you know. So this is the one that was suggested to be called Torpedo. This is the Oldsmobile Tornado. And see, I'm already trying to take it out of frame. I need to like sit right here. So I did the temporary tattoo method, and let's see if we can get some light here. Get a little bit of light there. That's a little bit better, I think. So yeah, I was just kind of winging it with designs, and this like a metallic seafoam green, and so then I used this temporary tattoo, this skull brain monocle dude, and then there's some like 40K and green stuff hobbies decals. So you can see there. Let me see if this is in focus. Yeah, okay. And so it's number 52. Got a skull. Got a rack of missiles. So I was thinking about maybe upgrading that name to maybe something like Professor Torpedo or something, because it does kind of look like a brainy person drives this car, which makes you wonder what kind of crimes he committed to get put in this car. Well, with a co-driver. And we got a little license plate back here, and these I got off of Temu. They were like $2. They're basically like little stickers, but you just gotta be real careful with them. And I figured it'd be good because it add a little character to these cars. But yeah, so front wheel drive car. So we've got the mud spray up a little bit higher at the front than we do the back. A little bit of rust, a little bit of dust. And so that's this one. And then we've got our little Dodge Omni, blue, silver, machine guns, minigun, oil dropper at the back, and armor plating. Again, these armor plates are made from like the tops of yogurt lids and coffee can lids. Any of this kind of like thin metal. Like this one here came off of a Diamond Almonds container. But yeah, Wasteland Raceways does a good guide on how to do it. And so I've said it before, just in case anybody's never seen my videos before, just make sure you check that video out. And so yeah, 3D printed wheels from Creepy Hero, and yeah, this is a fun little car. Again, it fits the Warden theme, you know, using souped up jalopies and cars of dubious historical quality to race in. And then, of course, you got the other option of doing like really kind of souped up performance cars like this Dirt Modified. And I haven't put a name to this one yet, but turret mounted mortar. obviously, it's got a built-in roll cage. Wool droppers to the side. Again, you want to maximize how many ammo token options you have when you're running Warden, because you want to maximize your chance of exploding, taking powder keg, and you know, getting your audience votes when they explode, inevitably. So yeah, I like this car. I think this is a fun one. Orange is still a pain in the butt to draw. Paint. Just because there's not really too many good colors for a base, and by the time you put enough on the model, it gets kind of chunky. But with Gaslands, it can work in your favor, because if it does cake up and get chunky, you can always sand it down and then use that sanding as weathering. So, unlike most miniatures, you can kind of actually use your mistakes to your advantage. So, we got a little bit of exhaust burn in here. That's, again, it's very simple, just gold, purple, blue, and then like a lighter blue, you know, and just layer it up. Then we've got, this is the Dreadnought. This is our big tank van. You see we've got another temporary tattoo of this knight here sitting on the side. I figured that was a good, you know, you see a lot of vans with like wizards and stuff on them. I figured I'd have a big, heavily armored knight on this one. So yeah, van, tank tracks, steam rolling ram, and then of course we have this mortar piece here, and you know, all the doors are blocked, keep the prisoners inside. So it's kind of like a 70s shag wagon combined with military hardware and just welded together to make a prison cell, weaponized prison cell. But I like that one. I like how that one turned out a lot. And then we've got this fella. Now this one kind of represents being a little bit cheeky with your options with Warden. This is minigun, ram, and grabber arm, which don't have ammo tokens, so it's not your normal, typical Warden explosive vehicle. I did have some RC car bombs on here, and so yeah, this Volkswagen T2 bus. When you take the boarding party perk, you're no longer distracted when you make collisions. So, for example, just to, you know, if you haven't seen this before, this is the kind of the trick, is like if you make a collision with a vehicle, you can go ahead and do your ram, and you know, but where most vehicles, because they're touching, they can't shoot. With boarding party, you can shoot the minigun, shoot off the grabber arm. The crew in this vehicle have a shotgun. And if I can, depending on how many cans I'm allotted, there's like just another shotgun in there. You could add 2 shotguns to this. But anyway, the trick of this is once you've made your impact and then you do your shooting, your grabber arm, the grabber lets you fling another vehicle. And so if you have another vehicle with another ram, and this is like, say these 2 are teammates, you could fling that guy into this guy and get, you know, more damage that way. You can also put your opponent in unfavorable positions, so they have to go around. You can, of course, use a dropper like RC car bombs and have a nasty little surprise waiting for them, or mines and other things, to kind of combo everything off of that. That's one reason why the grabber arm is a 6-can investment, even though it's a short-range weapon. because it can, if you connect with it in the right situation, absolutely ruin somebody's day. And so yeah, this is a war van of sorts, I guess you could say. This is one I haven't really named yet. I do like the seafoam teal kind of color. It's basically the matte version of that as a metallic. Yeah. For the bars here, this is just screen door mesh. I've told this story before, but I had a puppy that went through the screen door before the door was opened and tore the screen door material off. And so instead of throwing it in the trash, I just cut it up and kept it for these kind of projects. And so if you do have a torn screen door for some reason, you don't have to throw it out. And again, it's a rear engine vehicle, so we've got the exhaust pipes here at the back. And so this here is actually just a Volkswagen sticker. So you can kind of see the edges of it, but they do make those like magnetic things that just slap onto vehicles, like on the doors and stuff. So I kind of figured that's what that's going to be. And then we've got just a piece of chain here holding these doors closed. And a piece of metal here to keep this door closed. And again, one of the harder things to do with Warden is you put these plates on the doors and stuff to make it look like you're keeping the drivers in, but it actually makes them look like they have more armor than what the prison vehicle rules would suggest, because prison vehicle is less armor. You lose to a hull. Which again is one reason why the NASCAR vehicles always work well for prison vehicles, because, or any real like track racing vehicles, because they're thinner metal or fiberglass body and stuff. So you can kind of hand wave that and explain why a certain car of the same size as another car would have less hull if you wanted to go that route. So then we've got the little Granada here. And again, we've got a metal plate over the door, as I was saying. I did add the little supercharger, so it has looks like it has a little more oomph. And I had these nail art soccer balls on fire. And so I was thinking, I don't know much about soccer. So I think there's like striker position or something. I don't know. Soccer is not really a thing. But, you could call this some sort of soccer position. And have that as your theme. Got a rocket turret and smoke droppers. Again, because we want to maximize how many ammo tokens we're carrying in our vehicles. And of course, with a Granada, like I said in one of my videos, my mom had a Granada before she lost her vision, and that thing was cursed. And so it's fun to make a vehicle that actually has some ties to your family history. I don't think they make a Nissan Quest 1/64 scale, because that's my own cursed vehicle. That was a cursed vehicle that should be thrown into the pits of hell. But I don't know if they ever make one as a diecast, but it would be funny. And then I've got the two Belairs, the twins. So we've got, again, some I think it's either Fallout Hobbies or Green Stuff World. I think it's Green Stuff World decals mixed with some 40K kind of orky to give this like tusked grinning look off the fenders. And then of course the mud kind of covered it up a little bit, but it does look suitably grimy and battle ready. And so a lot of the nail art decals I have, they have like these little product number decals. I like to use these on my Warden vehicles because that kind of makes like a prisoner identification number. And so, yeah, again, when putting together Warden vehicles, it's good to find vehicles that don't have doors molded onto them already, so you can do that look of, you know, the driver being trapped in there. You got the mesh in there so they can't crawl out the sides. But you know, kind of a pre-manufactured body for the prison cell. And then this one here is the same kind of deal with the orc decals. We basically, what I did was I took 2 sets of the like grinning teeth decals, and then I cut them in half, well, 3 sets, and then kind of ended up making like this spike row here. And then we got the 4, and then a little bone back here, Evil Sons, Mind Dropper. Did the same here on this side. So we got a little matching grinning skull warning. One of the bad things about metallics is the light likes to catch them, and it makes it a little harder to show up. But so we got that metallic burgundy and the silver, and I like how they turned out. They turned out real well too. And then we've got this souped up Dodge Charger Daytona. Again, this is where I was saying you take a underpowered car from the 80s and make it a really beefy prison cell battle car with a bazooka and oil droppers, and the driver's locked inside with the metal plating, and he's got like a little chicken thing there, and a raven wing decal, Dominatus, you know, the kind of gothic numbers. I was just kind of jokingly making this like a raven wing kind of homage vehicle. And, you know, the idea of an unforgiven driver. And I think that works out well. Plus, yeah, you got the big-ass blower. It came off of a older Roger Dodger, I believe. So it still fits thematically. And we did a little bit of an exhaust burn-in on the bazooka here, so, you know, it looks like it's been suitably worn through the fires of battle. And then we've got some of the NASCAR stuff I was working on. And so, first off, I did finally get my Donnie Allison looking good. This is technically a 78, well, 74, sorry. Monte Carlo. He drove in the Monte Carlo, it was like 78. So it's a 4-year gap between this car and the real one. But it's the closest I could get to the Hawaiian Tropic in diecast. And so that's what I went with. And I got these decals off of eBay. And I am thoroughly excited with how good this vehicle looks. And I'll see if I can like interpose a picture so you can see what I was going for. But yeah, minigun Ram, this there's probably should be like minigun and roll cage, but I imagine that maybe they took the roll cage out to reinforce the vehicle for the ram part. And of course RC car bombs. And then we've got our bare bond tape repair jobs, as real NASCAR cars have. That's basically the painter's tape that I cut up into really tiny strips and then went over the holes I had made when trying to fit this thing back together with the ram. And I kind of butchered the whole front end of this thing. And this particular vehicle was, I think somebody set it on fire because the front grille was all messed up and like half melted. So now it's a proper death car, death race car. The wire mesh and everything. And I did, in retrospect, realize that Hawaiian Tropic is a suntan lotion company. And yeah, I probably should have done a flamethrower. But you can see this was the original one I had, which Donnie never drove a Lumina like this. So this is not really accurate. This was just my get me by, because I wanted to have the Alabama gang in NASCAR, in Gaslands. And you can see this was it's a good car. And there's nothing wrong with it, but I wanted something more accurate to something he actually drove. And so you can tell the red's better and everything too. And these are good decals. I really like them. And so there's that. And like I said, I have the Bobby Allison already. And so now that I've got his brother, I've got the other member of the Alabama gang. It was really either Neil or it was going to be Red Farmer, but Red Farmer wasn't in NASCAR as much as Neil. He was still in NASCAR, and he was more prominent in other divisions of stock car racing. So I went with Neil, and so this is the 31 Mom and Pop's car, which is very similar to Dale Earnhardt's car. And this was started out as a Matchbox Lumina that I painted black and did the decaling on, and did the interior. So this is roll cage and mortar and smoke dropper. And yeah, this one looks good. It's got some rust and dust and damage. Rough and tumble car. So we can see here, and see what we can see in there where I put the crew in there, or the driver. It's a little hard to see. You can see through the windshield, the crew member, but yeah, like I said, I finally got the Alabama gang, and I'm excited by that. So get to play that on the tabletop, I hope, one day. No one else in my gaming group knows NASCAR, though. They're just gonna see 3 performance cars. But now these aren't Warden. These are just, when I was trying to find NASCAR decals, I found other drivers that I thought would make interesting pieces. So this one, this could probably go good for Idris. But this is Dan Gurney's 70 Plymouth Superbird. And I made a custom roll cage for it, which is, again, hard to see. But, yeah, like I said, it was a little difficult to see with all the shades and everything. Like, maybe if I use this. That makes it worse. Easier to see in real life. But anyway, so Dan Gurney was like one of the greatest drivers of all time. And so you know, I could see a driver in the Wasteland wanting to kind of channel that energy by stealing this from a museum somewhere and racing it. But it's got a heavy machine gun and roll cage, and probably go with my my other super birds of my Richard Petty and my Pete Hamilton. But I do like using NASCAR Legends vehicles, and plus I think in general with the Gaslands timeline, you know, a lot of famous drivers would be death race drivers in that universe, so it's not that far of a stretch. So, you know, Dan Gurney is a little bit is before that Gaslands timeline, but it's still the idea of someone wanting to be driving that kind of vehicle. And so it's, you know, rusted, dusted, battle weary, but, you know, somebody's trying to basically be the best driver, live up to a legend, and I think that works out really well. And then we've got this one. Now this one, if I jumped up when I saw this one because when I saw the decals for this one at least, and that's because this is Marty Robbins' '66 Dodge Charger, and this was a Matchbox Dodge Charger that I customized with machine guns, and then like use this as a dropper. But you know, with Gaslands being a wasteland kind of racing, with, you know, nuclear fallout backdrops, you know, for those that don't know, Marty Robbins is the singer of the song Big Iron, and Big Iron is very prominent in Fallout New Vegas, and so this is the Big Iron, which originally I was kind of tempted to make this into a highway patrol vehicle, you know, because if you know the song. But the point is, it's still a really awesome homage to that song, and the fact that Marty Robbins was, as a country singer and a NASCAR driver, and made one of the most famous wasteland songs that we find ourselves singing when we're playing New Vegas. And so I had to do that. And again, so we got the guitar case dropper, and yeah, I like how this one turned out a lot. And I really, again, the decals really sell it. And then we've got the last one of our Warden fleet, and that is our gyrocopter. The reason I went with pink was I was just thinking about, with it being prisoners, yeah, I could see them wanting to have like a Red Baron paint scheme, and then so telling like the prison wardens, you know, when they're preparing this vehicle, it's like, hey, yeah, give me some red paint, I'm gonna do the Red Baron, you know. And you know, the overseers of the prison going, okay, we'll get you a red paint for your Red Baron. So yeah, this is the Pink Baron, much to the chagrin of our poor inmates. But it's got, you know, rockets under the bottom, but it kind of running that as mines, mine droppers. This is just a X-Wing base with corkboard and some flock, and you know, it fits in the whole. That was a where the screw went, but you know, it fits in there just fine, and you can just sit in there and play it normally. And these kind of fit the movement templates. So yeah, I liked how this one turned out. Use some Black Templar decaling for the iron crosses, and I imagine they're carrying grenades. I got an extra crew member in there just so we can do a little more. And with powder keg, you have, and it's a medium weight vehicle, so it's a medium weight 4-hole vehicle. It's strategically it's a distraction vehicle, because they can't win the race. So if your opponent ignores it, then it's flying over them, dropping mines on them and grenades, and being a nuisance. If they shoot it down, which would be not that hard, then you'll explode as a heavyweight vehicle right into their midst. And so it's really funny. And so we also did a little bit of the burn-in here on the exhaust pipe. Try to make this look more like a wasteland plane, and plus, yeah, it may be kind of a bad idea to give prisoners an aircraft, but you could say that, you know, it is a biplane. How far are they going to get in a world with attack helicopters and laser-guided satellites and things? So there's that. But it is kind of funny to put prisoners in a pink airplane and expect them to survive a fight. But I just did it for the fun of it, and plus, like I said, it's a good little tricky vehicle to play with. So that's what we've got. And so next up is Scarlet and Pirates. And I'm trying not to do a whole bunch of builds. I'm trying to cut down and just do a few to focus on the perks and the build ideas. But I'll probably still get carried away and do something more. But then I also got pulled into 40K again. So, yeah, I'm going to end up going over to Armaggeddon for a little while too. So I might be making videos on that as well, if that's something people would be interested in, seeing me create my Space Marine chapter from the ground up again. Because I hadn't originally made one, but then I ended up having to sell it, and then so I'm back in the saddle again. Alright, well, with that, if you enjoy this, again, like, share, subscribe, feel free to comment, even if it's to make fun of me saying every other word, because it's funny. I already know that I say it a lot, so, there it is again. Anyway, I really appreciate your time. I really love your support. And if you want to support me more, as always, I have my Etsy store, King of Cats Crafts, where I sell these vehicles fairly reasonably. And this coming week, I should be adding some more to the store. Yeah, now I've got to get some 40K stuff, mainly impulsors and Ravenwing bikes. Yay! And Land Raiders. My wallet hates me. Anyway, take care, be safe, and with this high heat summer, remember to drink lots of water. And goodbye.